Fatherland Videos. I'm very excited tonight. We have a mythology read from one of my new books. They're gonna be new books for a while. I got quite a few of them. This one is Gothic Black Sci-Fi Short Stories and Fantasies. We're still label it Black Sci-Fi Mythology. We're reading the story mythology Space Traitors by Walada and Mauritia. And this book is brought to you by Timmy O. Introduction by Dr. Sandra M. Grayson. Flame Tree Publishing. All these books are Flame Tree Publishing. Got Raina out here. Raina. When she finally dried out, y'all can see her tiger stripes. She's a very beautiful dark blue, rich blue color versus the other Raina we had. We're gonna get right into this selection. They talk bad about my mythologies, y'all. My mythology reads. They make fun of me doing them in the garage. If they only knew that I was sitting on my ice chest while I did them, I wonder how bad they would still talk about me more. But it's a blessing to stand strong as a man and be at home. That's a big blessing. Not to have to roach off another man's plate, especially when he's down bad. Just being a burden. Anyway, on a positive note, let's get right into this. Space Traitors. The thrilling of the phone was almost equal to the pounding in Jamar's head. He reached out his hand without bothering to open his eyes. Groping blindly for the phone. Dirty sock, dirty underwear, dirty dish. Not even sure what that is. He finally found the phone and lifted it to his ear. "Someone better be dead," he rasped manically into the phone. "Yeah, it's about to be you if you keep on that tone with me," his sister Malika snapped back. Jamar grabbed his head and groaned at the sound of her voice. Malika was a beautiful woman, no doubt about that. After all, she was his sister, so she got her share of the good genes. But she had a demeanor that would make a drill sergeant envious, and a voice to match. If she started that militant revolutionary shit again, he hoped he couldn't be held responsible in a court of law for his response. "Malika, can you call me back at a reasonable time? Say 2 p.m. next Tuesday." His voice, already crackled, was further muffled by the pillow he had pushed over his face to block out the sunlight. "What? I can't understand a damn thing you're saying." Malika spit into the phone. "It's not my fault you keep your ass out all night long drinking with those looser friends of yours at that dive bar. I know black folks everywhere are celebrating Obama's election and all, which you know is really just neoliberal plot to diffuse the power of the oppressed masses by giving us a figurehead when our people are suffering in the street every day. But shit, get up, cause the world as we know is about to change." Her voice sparkled with fervor. You're going to miss everything. Your lazy ass will thank me for this later. Jamar licked his lips so dry they were painful, like a dress to sizes too small. She was right about one thing at least. Should have drank more water and less whiskey last night. But then, that wasn't a new story for him. The only difference was, for once, he had all the black folks in Harlem, most of the Puerto Ricans, and half the liberal white folks with him. Jamar didn't really care about politics. In fact, he had been ashamed to say he hadn't voted for Obama. Shit, he hadn't even voted for anybody since junior high school president. And then he voted for himself. But seeing old man Joe, a permanent fixture at Remy's bar, crying like a baby as he talked about his father, who had been lynched, dreaming that such a day would come, Jamar was proud to raise up a toast. Or six. But of course, that meant he was in a very familiar position, along with the 85% of the nation's black population hungover, pissed off, and losing any shreds of patience he had left. When am I going to miss a good day's rest? Too late. I already missed it. What? Her voice hit the octave designed to make his head crack open like a walnut shell. You mean you really have been in bed all this time? You haven't even gotten up to do anything at all? Brush your teeth. Nothing, Jamar. Just 'cause you ain't got no job again doesn't mean you need to be the saddest person on this planet. I'm not telling you to go to work for some capitalist white supremacist oppressor, but there are so many community programs and centers that could be use a brother like you. Don't buy into the post-racial madness sweeping the nation. You know Obama in the White House ain't fighting to change the material conditions of the brothers and sisters on the streets. You should be involved in our community. You could be helping young cats stay out of the game. At the very least, you could get up and wash your ass once in a while. Damn. Malika sighed, a heavy sigh, laden with the burden of being born the younger sister to such a shitless counter-revolutionary fool. Jamar rubbed the short dreadlocks springing out from his head in all directions and rolled his eyes. He really did not need this shit. Not so early in the afternoon. Okay, Gan. Not so early in the evening. Sure, he had lost his job a week ago. And sure, it had been a ninth job this year. Yes, he had drunk up the last of his money last night and slept so long today he hadn't had a chance to get out to look for work like he had planned. Like he had planned every day this week. But damn, that's why he needed to drink. 'Cause he was broke and jobless. And her old power to the people routine was just too tired. Their parents had been a part of the Philly chapter of Black Panthers. They have both done time, gotten their asses beat by the cops to make a better world for their kids. He had given both Jamar and Malika African names, celebrated Kwanzaa, and all that super black shit. But this wasn't 1968 anymore. America had just proved that last night, hadn't it? This was a new day, one where black people could truly do anything, even become president. Power to the people, my ass. The only power Jamar was worried about right now was his electricity, since he hadn't paid the bill in about 2 months. Satisfied that Jamar was properly chastised, Malika continued. Well, if you had been awake at a decent hour, you could have heard about the most incredible shit I have ever imagined. This is a dawning of a new day for oppressed peoples around the world, big brother. And I ain't talking about no black puppet in the White House. Who would have thought when the revolution happened it would come from the third world, but from another world? She giggled uncontrollably, and for a minute, Jamal remembered that the ashy neat little girl in braids who used to squeal when he pushed her on the rusty swing sat on the schoolyard demanding to be pushed higher and higher. But of course, she had to ruin the moment. Look, are you ready for this stuff? You sitting down? Well, knowing you probably still laying down. I at least hope you gonna have some drawers on, cause you know I hate talking to you when you naked. Will you just tell me what the fuck is going on or leave me the hell alone? Jamal's frustrated yelp fell like a hammer to his head, but he just couldn't take it anymore. Motherfucking aliens, motherfucker, okay? She threw the words out like daggers. There are motherfucking aliens. They just arrived this morning, and in exactly 2 minutes they are fitting to address us. Jamal was silent for a minute. Then he said, rage leaking out of his tone at all sides, you woke me up when I was having a pounding headache to play some stupid ass game with me. So help me, Malika. It's true, Malika yelled back. These aliens from outer space are here and they want to talk. And just wait till you hear whose voice they are talking with. The silence was deafening. Damn it, turn on the TV. It's already talking about the watch it for your damn self. That is, she retorted, if that was busted ass off your can even pick up a decent picture. Don't know why I even bother with you, I swear. Malcolm X, give me strength, was her parting goodbye as she hung up the phone. She thinks she's so funny, he muttered to himself as he tossed the phone back into the Dead Sea that was in his bedroom floor from where it came. I'm not turning on the TV, he said to himself firmly. I'm not playing along with whatever game she's up to. Jamar closed his eyes and rolled over and over and over. Ah, what the hell, he said, throwing off the blanket. I'm up. I might as well see what's on. He threw some sweatpants over the boxers. Malika would be so glad to know he was wearing, padded into the living room, and dropped down onto the couch. He dug the remote out of the crevice of the couch, along with a pizza crust, a peppermint candy still in its wrapper, and a lint ball the size of a baby's head. He looked the warm power button. He clicked the warm power button. His pout quickly changed to a look of disbelief and amazement. His jaws dropped. A giant chrome spaceship hovering over the Capitol filled the screen on every station he flipped to. It was fairly flat and had a number of prongs that stretched out from the base. Jamar realized roughly that it's a sort of looked like a space-age Afro pick. No wonder Malika was so excited. The audio running with the image of was the aliens who had used the voice pattern of a revolutionary poet, Jill Scott Heron. Everything they said sounded like it should have been set to the beat of a Congo drum, performed in the front of audience that will snap at the completion and then go burn down some white-owned stores. We reach out in solidarity to the scared peoples of the planet Earth. We do not come in peace, but in justice. We have traveled many light years to engage your populations in a revolutionary exchange. We have technologies that can cure many diseases, that can create sustainable food growth, for soil purification, for renewable sources of energy. We have resources and knowledge to bring power to your scared communities, enable you to establish autonomous spaces that you administer and defend. The power to determine the destinies of your own communities. Autonomous spaces. Damn, Jamar said. They must have been reading those big-ass dull books Malika was always trying to push on him. We want to be clear. We cannot just give these to you. It is not that we do not wish it, but our technology is not like yours. We do not build something independent of ourselves. To create something new, we, all of us, must grow it together, each putting in pieces of ourselves. By giving, we all are all enriched. Jamal snorted. It sounds like a pyramid scam. If they threw in a trip to Hawaii, they'd get more suckers to bite. But we can commit to staying here and working with you until these technologies are fully birthed. Please understand though, this is not charity, but an act of solidarity. If this was a Gil Scott poem, this is where everyone would have snapped. Because we must devote individuals, equipment, and resources. We can only focus on a part of your planet at a time. So right now, our offer is only to open those scared peoples in the country called the United States of America. Scared peoples, Jamar thought. Is that what this cat keeps saying? Did he mean scared and it was just a glitch in the translation? In exchange for this, we ask that the scared people of the United States of America commit to joining us in liberating other scared peoples in the galaxy for the next 8 or of the Earth years and help us create autonomous communities open to all scared people everywhere. This is how we are able to bring this to your planet, and we believe it only right to continue to pass on the aid we receive. Scared people of the United States. We picked you because we monitored your recent history. We saw all scared communities coming together to protest unjust wars, challenge abusers of power, and work to create a new world. We saw your young take the streets in a rage and hope. We heard the voices of your greatest philosophers, like the one whose voice I now use to speak to you. And in this resonated deeply in us, as we too know that the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers and sisters. The revolution will be alive. Jamar started. They were talking about the 1960s, but that was so long ago. Either they got their wires crossed and messed up on the time, or time passes real different for them than for us humans. Us scared people, whatever that is, Malika must be shitting herself with joy. Scared people of the United States, you have a week to decide. Dig it? The end of the transmission created a typhoon of commentary on television and radio station. What did this autonomous community mean? What would you be and they be liberating? And what the hell were scared people? Jill Scott's rich voice cut back, silencing the canister. We understand scared people, and this term we have created to represent all of us who have experienced the exploitation of our labor, our culture, our histories, and our bodies by population promulgated upon the fraudulent, heretical, genetic supposition based on visual demonstrations of difference. The silence was deafening. Look, Jill said, starting to sound like a little irked. We come from many planets, many races, and many species. We have joined together because we have been oppressed on our home worlds. I am of those who first scared peoples to rise up. We freed ourselves with the solidarity of scared peoples from a nearby star. We made a commitment to do the same for others. And to grow our ranks of scared liberators. We are here speaking to the scared peoples of the United States. We are here speaking to the scared people of the United States of America, those who have suffered from this brutality so familiar to our own. What you call white supremacy, racism, colonization. We are speaking only to those who have decided to call yourselves people of color. Can you dig it now? Jill must not have been as confident in our power of collective comprehension because he added, so those of y'all who ain't white, we await your reply. The airwaves exploded. Phone lines jammed as people crossed the country called in to talk to radio. On Fox News, commentators foamed at the mouth, each screaming over each other. This is reverse discrimination. We should take this in a direct attack against our way of life. These aliens are jealous of normal American freedoms. The U.S. military knows more about bringing freedom to places than anywhere else on the globe. Just look at Iraq and Afghanistan. Just ask Vietnam. Maybe we should just show these aliens a little of how we bring liberation, American style. The calls for military action were, however, somewhat muted after the display of power by the alien spaceship, which, with one burst of its lasers, disabled every weapon in all of the Washington, D.C. area, down to every warhead, missile, bomb, and handgun. What about Obama, people, especially white people, implored? We just elected the first black president in the history of the country yesterday. Doesn't that count for anything? Not really. Jill definitely more than a little peeved at the unexpected slowness. Guess he was planning on landing in the middle of Black Panther rally, Jamar thought. On our planet, we had some of our own kind who were in positions of power that in no way changed the conditions of the masses of scared people who were enslaved and exploited. We know from centuries of experience working in intergalactic solidarity that this will not change your situation for the better, and perhaps it will make it much worse. We have seen after a token of investment such as this, the backlash against the scared peoples is indescribable, often setting back the cause of liberation decades. But as it should be, as it ever was, the choice is yours, scared peoples of the USA. Jamar leaned back on his ratty couch, absent-mindedly unwrapped the peppermint candy and popped it in his mouth, which was still hanging open. Well, shit, it's about to hit the fan now, isn't it? Jamar asked the empty room in wonder. I feel comfortable with a little dialogue after this read because it's not a mythology. It's not inspired by ancient historical spiritual accounts. So I don't mind chopping it up with y'all a little bit after I find this little bad puppy. There she go. You ready to get in the bed, girl? You had a good day? Good. Your first full day? No, it's bedtime. No, it's bedtime a little bit. Go to sleep. That was a beautiful story. I would have just loved to see how it could have just blossomed and flourished, continue another 6 or 7 chapters. But uh, it came to an awkward end. It was kind of awkward how it ended. Um, a little awkward how it ended, but so I was saying, before a little bit started going crazy, I got so deep in that read, I forgot she was out here wandering around. She's so tiny. She barely the size of my shoe, if that. But the story was so beautiful. It was rich in urban language and choice of words, and it also had an explosive sci-fi element to it. It just jumped how it went from just sitting around talking to your brother and sisters in the hood to um to aliens, the spaceships, and then even at that, the voice of a spaceship is a woman voice, and then it's Jill Scott, right? And they talk about snapping fingers as she talks, and it sounds like a poem. I mean, it was just so beautifully done to where it's like we think about those movies. We dream to hope to see, like, where did we come in with aliens? They kind of made one movie a couple of years ago on Netflix, and it had an Asian twist to it and a cowboy like type of element with it. So they came close to that, but it's never been something so dreamy as we black people who are Star Wars fans, who are Trekkies, and they like zombie movies, like sci-fi stuff, right? We think about movies like this, right? So it picked up just perfectly, like we would hope it would be something that was for us, but it also had a realness, a realistic element to it, to where it was addressing and talking about real time and real life shit, and that would have been a great first 30 minutes of the movie. I think it ended up talking about some lasers that shot down from a spaceship and fucked up all the weapons on Earth. Uh, Racism and hate is something that black people are afraid to tell other races, like how much it bothers them on a normal basis. When it's at hand and it's causing difficulties in their life, I would say that black people 75% of the time don't bring it up. Um, I choose to go the other way, the 25 versus the 75 with that. And that's because I'm built a certain way, and it's not only for black people, but it's to help white people realize, like, do you realize how much this is fucked up and what you doing? It's not just to speak up for black people, it's to bring awareness to other people that, hey man, this is fucked up what you doing. And even though you might not have it in your heart to stop, maybe me telling you this, you will be put in shame to stop. And it was a beautiful story, man. It was so short, and I think it provided its proper purpose to where it to get you going spiritually and to get your imagination going, and then to leave you there to explore further in your imagination into what you might want to see develop after that. Traveling to other worlds as we uplift you, Black American people. We recruit your people to come join us. Out of all people on earth, we choose your people and go travel to other worlds and help other people in other worlds. That's just amazing. But it's something to where it seems too much of a coincidence to have that story told like that. Too much of a coincidence. Um, I'm starting to like these stories away from mythology because this is my first one. Because it gives me a space to come in and interject and say, you know, the mythology speak it all, and it's really a breakdown in your conscious or to dilute it. They're so potent. They're so rich. It's like you can't add to it. Adding to it would only be taken away from it, right? So this story time, like we read tonight, is something to where it's just it goes good with a good look, a little sit rep afterwards. Um, I came across a couple of people today. It just reading these books and reading this stuff is just it's so connecting to real life experiences I have on a daily basis. And some people were talking about the hot heat. You know, you gotta understand. People know who I am, and they mention things. And somebody was talking about how hot it was, and some other issues they were having with being comfortable in the heat. Uh, no matter who that's not in position to be in control of different organizations and systems, one's hate and wickedness will consume themselves and others. And you will want to blame other people because you're so hateful and wicked. Wicked is the most important thing in this uh, point I'm making. Wickedness will make you also not want to be responsible. Whose fault is it for global warming? Whose fault is that? Whose fault is it that people that are non-melanin rich in the future, even right now as we speak, these non-black people are suffering because of the furious heat out here? It's the wicked racist people. If it's not the pollution that they put in the atmosphere, it's them attacking black people and our numbers and our populations at low levels to where we can't provide one of our key reasons and how we help make this world a pleasant place to be. Talking about the algae, fish in the water, and talking about the melanated people in the world with the sun and the radiation. It's your own hate. And the funny part about it, what makes it so funny, is that right now you can still neglect the responsibility of your choices of hate and racism. But there will come a day where intelligence will reign supreme and your children will look back on you. And at that very shift and change, for those who are on that fine line, they will turn and look to their elders like, why the fuck have y'all been doing this shit? Y'all are killing us. We have to live in this world. And that's so fucking funny because not that people suffer. It's funny that the people who point the finger at black people and say we are lesser than and we are bad people, it's funny because when the truth comes out and the world can't deny it any longer and ignore it, that's what's gonna be so funny. It's gonna be a whole fucking 180-degree shift with this shit. That's funny. And it's sad that people are gonna suffer from people's in the past times wicked and hateful decisions that not only hurt them in their future, but also was all the time hurting a different people. And that's sad that people are gonna be hurt by that. And people have been being hurt by this hate and racism and wickedness all this time. So, as intelligence rises, why do they want people not to read and have knowledge and know stuff? Because it's not that you will know secrets and powers and stuff. You will know who are the ugly, hateful, wicked, racist people. They don't want you to know how ugly they are. They don't want you to know how fucking wicked they are. It's not about some kind of knowledge of something. Oh my gosh, I read this, and they make movies about that. The truth is, it's looking at a people who are in disguise of being somebody that is worthy of position of power, who are in a definite not. So, as intelligence rises and these books are starting to be read and these Google searches start to be typed in and these YouTube videos are starting to be played, good luck with your hate and your wickedness. I have to wish you luck because that's all the fuck you got. You don't have a chance. You're gonna need luck. You can have your way now, but the future is not yours in any sort. Either you're gonna hide for the uprise and the rebellion of intelligentsia, or you're gonna hide and you're gonna run from your own hate and wicked decisions and the environment it created. talking about spaceships and UFOs. Y'all buckle up y'all seatbelts, man. Because y'all know what these mythology reads and all this talking does. And we know the days we living in. Y'all buckle up y'all seatbelts.